Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Charlie. On today's episode, I'm going to be showing you how to make my delicious homemade orange lime pound cake from scratch. Now, this is a very unique type of cake. Both the cake and the icing are both orange and lime flavored, so it combines the citrus flavor of the orange with the tartness of a lime. This recipe you can get about 18 to 20 or possibly more servings, all depending on how you slice it. It's absolutely delicious. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, here's all what you'll need to make your homemade orange lime pound cake. Let's get started with our ingredients. You'll need some Swan's Down cake flour or all-purpose flour. And along with that, you'll need some sugar, salt, baking powder, baking soda, unsalted butter at room temperature, large eggs at room temperature, whole milk at room temperature, heavy whipping cream at room temperature, sour cream at room temperature, 1 medium-sized orange, 1 lime. Make sure that your orange and your lime are at room temperature. Vanilla extract, butter extract, orange extract, lime extract, orange gel paste or liquid food coloring, green gel paste or liquid food coloring, and some confectioner sugar. And for your tools, you will need a citrus juicer, a citrus zester, 2 disposable piping bags with the tip cut off, and to bake your cake, you will need some Baker's Joy non-stick baking spray and a Fat Daddy-O tube pan. This is a 15 cup in capacity tube pan. And there we have it. Alright, let's get straight to it. We're going to get started with our dry ingredients. So in this medium-sized bowl with a mesh strainer, add 3 cups of cake flour or all-purpose flour, a half a teaspoon of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Sift all ingredients into this medium-sized bowl. Stir all your ingredients together. Okay, let's get started with our wet ingredients. Now, I just want to let you know that the ingredient amounts for the heavy cream, sour cream, and whole milk will vary depending if you're using cake flour or all-purpose flour. If you're using cake flour, which I'm using, add 3/4 cup of heavy whipping cream at room temperature, 2/3 cup of whole milk at room temperature, and 1/4 cup of sour cream at room temperature. If you're using all-purpose flour, add a half a cup of heavy whipping cream at room temperature, a half a cup of whole milk at room temperature, and 1/4 cup of sour cream at room temperature. Next, add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and a half a teaspoon of butter extract. Take a whisk and stir all ingredients together until combined. Rinse off your orange and your lime with cold water. Alright, here we have our citrus zester with a shallow bowl underneath it. Here we have our medium-sized orange. Zest half of a medium-sized orange. So that means you're only going to zest half of the orange. That's it. And there we go. Cut the orange in half. Here we have our citrus juicer, and here is the half of the orange that we zested. We're going to take that half of orange and we're going to juice it using the citrus juicer. And there we go. Alright, here we have our citrus zester again with a shallow bowl underneath it. Take a whole lime and zest the entire lime. Cut the lime in half. Here we have our citrus juicer once again. Take half of the lime that you zested and juice the half a lime using the citrus juicer. And there we go. Alright, let's get started with the preparation of our cake batter. So in our stand mixer bowl fitted with the paddle attachment, you can also use a hand mixer as well. Add 3 sticks of unsalted butter, softened and at room temperature, right on in there. And to that, we're going to add 3 cups of sugar. Start your mixer on a medium-low speed just to get that butter and sugar incorporated. Turn your mixer up to the highest setting and mix this on high speed for 6 minutes. At some point during those 6 minutes, you're going to go ahead and stop your mixer and scrape down the sides of your bowl. Continue mixing that in. Alright, scrape down the sides of your bowl. Start your mixer on a medium speed. Add 5 large eggs in at room temperature, one at a time. Alright, scrape down the sides of your bowl. Next, we're going to alternate the cake flour or all-purpose flour mixture and the milk and cream mixture into the batter 3 separate times. We're not doing any measurements or anything like that at this time. Add the first amount of the cake flour or all-purpose flour mixture and the first amount of the milk and cream mixture. Mix this on a medium-low speed for about 15 to 20 seconds or until combined. Alright, scrape down the sides of your bowl. Add the second amount of the cake flour or all-purpose flour mixture and the second amount of the milk and cream mixture. Mix this on a medium-low speed for about 15 to 20 seconds or until combined. Alright, scrape down the sides of your bowl. Add the third amount of the cake flour or all-purpose flour mixture and the third amount of the milk and cream mixture. Mix this on a medium-low speed for about 15 to 20 seconds or until combined. Alright, scrape down the sides of your bowl. Alright, I've divided the cake batter into 2 separate bowls. The weight of the batter in each bowl is 2 pounds and 2.5 ounces in weight. The bowl to the right will be the bowl for the orange cake batter, and the bowl on the left will be for the lime cake batter. So let's get started with bowl 1, the orange cake batter. Add 1 tablespoon of orange zest, 1 tablespoon of orange juice, 1 teaspoon of orange extract, and 1/4 teaspoon of orange gel paste or liquid food coloring. Now I've added it onto this butter knife, and from there I'm just going to swirl that into the batter. I'm going to take a spatula and stir all the ingredients together until combined. I'm going to set bowl 1 on the side and bring in bowl 2 for the lime cake batter. Add 1 tablespoon of lime zest, 1 tablespoon of lime juice, 1 teaspoon of lime extract, and 1/4 teaspoon of green gel paste or liquid food coloring. Now I've added onto this butter knife, and I'm going to swirl that into the batter. Take a spatula and stir all the ingredients together until combined. And from there, our orange lime pound cake batter is now ready. Spray your tube pan with the Baker's Joy non-stick baking spray. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven to 325 degrees. Here we have a disposable piping bag with the tip cut off. Add the disposable piping bag into a large cup. The same thing with the other disposable piping bag. Add it into a large cup. Add the orange cake batter into 1 disposable piping bag. And add the lime cake batter into the other disposable piping bag. Okay, here we have our disposable piping bag with the orange cake batter in it. Pipe the orange cake batter close to the sides of the tube pan, as you see here. Next, you're going to take your second disposable piping bag with the lime cake batter in it and pipe the lime cake batter around the center of the tube pan. And again, we're going to take our orange cake batter and we're going to pipe some more toward the edge of the tube pan. And again, the same thing with the lime cake batter. You're going to pipe the lime cake batter toward the center of the baking pan. Continue to do this until you have the tube pan completely filled. You can also add the batters on top of one another. You can add the orange or the lime cake batter in first, spread it around as evenly as possible, and then add the batter on top of there, and then spread that around as evenly as possible. And that way, you don't have to use the piping bags. To make the batter more even, shake your tube pan and tap the bottom of the tube pan with your hand. Now it is ready to be baked. Place this into a preheated 325-degree oven on the middle rack. Bake this for 1 hour and 10 minutes. Alright, it's been about 1 hour and 10 minutes now for our cake. Let's remove this out of the oven. Toothpick inserted into the cake should come out clean. Let the cake cool for about 3 to 5 hours before removing it out of the pan. Alright, I let my cake cool completely. Here I have a cooling rack. Flip the cake over onto the cooling rack. Wow, it turned out beautifully. I'm going to take the cooling rack with the cake on it and I'm just going to lift it up and I'm going to place it inside an 11 by 17 inch baking pan. Alright, let's get started with making our icing. So in this medium-sized bowl, add 1 1/2 cups of confectioner sugar, 3 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter, 3 1/2 tablespoons of warm whole milk, a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1/4 teaspoon of butter extract. Take a whisk and stir all the ingredients together until the icing is creamy and smooth with no visible lumps. Alright, I've divided my icing into 2 separate bowls. The weight of the icing in each bowl is 5 ounces. The bowl to the right, bowl 1, is going to be for the orange icing, and the bowl to the left, bowl 2, will be the lime icing. We're going to start with bowl 1, which is going to be the orange icing. Add 1/4 teaspoon of the squeezed orange juice, 1/8 teaspoon of orange extract. Here I have a toothpick. I dipped it in the orange gel paste food coloring, and I'm going to swirl the toothpick into the icing. Stir all the ingredients together. If you're using the orange liquid food coloring, you're going to add about 4 drops of that in there. Set bowl 1 on the side, and we're going to bring in bowl 2 for the lime icing. Add 1/4 teaspoon of the squeezed lime juice, 1/8 teaspoon of lime extract. Here I have a toothpick. I've dipped it into the green gel paste food coloring. Swirl the toothpick into the icing. Stir all the ingredients together. Now if you're using the green liquid food coloring, you're going to add about 4 drops of that in there. And from there, our orange and our lime icings are now ready. Now if your icing happens to get too thick, you can always heat it up for about 5 to 10 seconds on the stove. Alright, here we have our cake. Now I just want to let y'all know, as you can see, there's a light coating of icing on there. But the reason why is because earlier when I made the icing, the colors weren't exactly where I wanted them to be. So I removed the icing off of the cake. And I made another batch of icing. Take the lime icing and carefully pour it toward the center of the cake, like how you see here. Next, take your orange icing and pour it toward the top edge of the cake. Be careful not to pour any of the icing onto the lime icing that's on the other side. Now here's another quick tip for you. You can take both of the icings and mix them together, and from there you can just pour it directly on top of the cake if you like. The orange icing has begun to free fall onto the side of the cake. Take an offset spatula and glide the icing onto the side of the cake. And the same thing with the middle of the cake with the lime icing. Just take a spatula or a butter knife, whatever you can use, and glide the icing onto the middle part of the cake as well. To transport the cake, here I have two spatulas with a cake pad. Carefully place the spatulas underneath the cake. Gently pick up the cake from off of the cooling rack and transfer the cake onto a cake serving pad. Carefully pull the spatulas from underneath the cake. Let the icing set for about 15 to 20 minutes. And after that, the cake is ready to be served. Here is the final presentation. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Homemade orange lime pound cake. Made from scratch by a New Orleans native. If you like my channel, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell button if you want to be notified of my videos. I have an official website for all of my recipes, including this one. Go to www.charliethecookandrews.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter under the name Charlie the Cook Andrews. Stay tuned as Charlie's Taste Test is coming up next. Can't wait. Now it's time to go eat and take a bite. Oh yeah. Absolutely perfect. I mean, the cake has a wonderful orange and lime flavor. I mean, the two flavors combined together, it's just wonderful. And that icing, oh my god. I mean, the cake is also moist. It has a slight softness like a cake, but it also has the density of a pound cake as well. Y'all, this cake is a winner. It is delicious. Mm, mm, mm. So, give the recipe a try. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, have a good one. Peace.